Welcome back to another one of my videos. My name is Ross and today we're going to be taking a look at my Land Rover Freelander 2, more specifically at the alternator and how to remove and replace it. Now if you follow my channel you'll know that I normally do a step-by-step guide, video the whole journey through from start to finish. Unfortunately, because this was a bit of an emergency, I wasn't able to do that on this car. So I've actually stopped halfway, so the old alternator's off and we've got the new one ready to go on. I'm just going to talk you through some of the difficult bits. I'm going to show you all the parts I've had to take off, but more importantly, I'm actually going to show you how to do this process via a manual. Now, a lot of people don't realise that you can actually still get really good quality workshop manuals for most cars, and that's of course how the workshops and garages actually do the task, and are also able to give you a duration for the task. So I will, at the end of this video, just step you through what the workshop manual actually told me to do. Just to talk you through my model of the Freelander 2, this one is a little bit rare, especially in Australia, because this has the 2-litre petrol EcoBoost engine from Ford. More often than not, these actually come with a diesel engine, and this is actually the petrol engine that is found in the early Discovery Sport, obviously the Freelander 2, the Evoques, and also the Volvo XC60. And just to show you something that I found earlier, this actually says Volvo on it. So it is a Ford engine, it is the Ford EcoBoost engine, and as you can see, I've actually taken quite a lot of the engine off, and you can see every bit of red tape there. That is something that I've actually disconnected, and that's something that you might want to do on your car as well. It does allow you to obviously look at what you need to connect back up. Now I have taken the battery out, and that is not required to do this job. Obviously it's good to disconnect it but not take it out. I've done that for another reason, and I've actually taken the airbox and induction tube off because I had another couple of jobs to do on the car as well. But you do need to take quite a lot of this engine apart. So as you can see, I've actually taken the intake manifold off there, which is the major part. And there's also the thermostat that goes in there, which is actually tucked just under here. And that's another thing that you need to get off just to get to the alternator. Just to show you inside the wheel arch where you actually have to get to the side of the engine, because this is where our Serpentine belt is actually housed. Now you do have to take off the inner line in there, which is nice and simple to do. And you can actually just see that is our belt tensioner just there, and I've actually put a brand new one on this because I needed one anyway, and I've just used this as an opportunity to do it, and you can see our Serpentine belt snaking around. Now I have just removed this just to give me a bit more access. That can go straight back on, but the alternator normally sits just about there. And I'll show you on some diagrams in just a second. Now let's take a look at the components that we need to actually take off of the car. So over the back there, we've just got our main belly pan. It comes off nice and simple. Just got 6 bolts to do so, access from underneath. And we need to take that off to drain the coolant out and also just let us get underside the engine. Over the left-hand side there, we've actually got the top of our battery box. Like I say, you don't need to take that off the car, but you do need to go underneath it and disconnect the positive terminal of the battery when you're doing this job. Now over there we've got our inner wheel liner, really simple to get out, just a couple of screws and then that drops right out. Got the plastic engine cover, that just unclips and just pops straight off. And we've actually got our plastic intake manifold here. So you do have to undo a couple of pipes and also electrical connections, but it wasn't too hard to get off, and you can actually get pretty good access to each of the 5 bolts that go throughout the manifold. And you don't need to take this off at the bottom, that can actually stay on. Over the top there, I have taken the airbox fully out just to give me a bit more space to look around. And like I say, I did need to do some other jobs while I was in there, and it was easier to take that out than leave it in. Just got some vacuum tubes we've had to take out, some breather tubes we've had to take out as well. Again, much simpler just to get them out of the way. Got the other one here as well, nice little small one. Fomaco, so Ford Motor Company. And then this is the old belt tensioner. Now the only reason I've actually taken that off is because I wanted to replace it, because I actually replaced the Serpentine belt, but I was waiting for this to arrive, so I've done that at the same time anyway. And then that's just a plastic cover that goes on. Now for the alternators themselves. Now this is my new one ready to go on, and this is the older one that was faulty. So exactly the same units, except this one obviously came with my Freelander 2, and this one came off an early Discovery Sport. Like I say, this engine is shared with a few other cars. Just to repeat that, that's the Evoque with the same 2-litre petrol turbo engine, the XC60 from Volvo, and obviously the early Discovery Sport up to about 2017, where they replaced it with the Ingenium engine. So you can see this is the 3 fixing points. So you've got 1 at the top there and 2 at the bottom. And I will just say these are probably the hardest bolts to get off to do this task. Just to point out where it goes in the engine. It tucks down there, and we've got the 2 bolts down the bottom there, and then there's 1 bolt just at the top there. And there is a very limited access to get actually a ratchet or a spanner in there. I found it easier to do it with a spanner. Right now, to quickly show you the information found in the professional workshop manual as received from Emanuals Online. So my model is the 2014 2-litre petrol, so obviously this manual covers that. It also covers 2013 to 2014 range, and the 2.2 diesel engine is covered within this document as well. And just to point out, this is 5,986 pages long. That's how comprehensive this manual is. Right, so we're here to look at the alternator, or as it will call it in here, the generator. So you just go ahead, click down the bookmarks and go down to generator, which is here, and then this will tell you the process for removing the generator. It'll also highlight any other items that you need to take off as well. So just scrolling down, it says that we need to support the vehicle on axle stands. Obviously we need to get up and get that wheel off, and then it does actually tell us before we do anything we need to remove the thermostat and the wheel and tyre. So wheel and tyre I won't go to, but thermostat's an important one because that's a bit tricky to get to. So we're going to go back up in our bookmarks, we're going to go back to the powertrain, and then we're going to go to thermostat. There it is. So this gives us the process for removing the thermostat. Now this will also tell us if we need to take anything else off, which we do. We need to take part of the cooling system and draining off, which is just those tubes, and we also need to take off the intake manifold. So now we have to go to intake manifold, which is just there, and this is probably your first step. So it does say remove the engine cover. Like I say, that just pulls off, nice and simple, and then it shows you any disconnection you need to do. So looking at the diagram there, we've got 3 points of disconnection, so we take all of those off to get that pipe off first. Then we take the band off from down below and the electrical connection that goes to the sensor there. I believe that's the map sensor. And then there's a few other sensors that are actually just clipped to the manifold there. Moving down, a few more hoses and clips that we need to take off that just mount to the manifold. And then this is removing the manifold itself. So obviously we're taking the pipe off the bottom, and it shows in purple the 5 bolts holding the manifold on. Nice and simple to do. And then when you lift it off, you actually have to take the connectors off that are just mounted to the manifold. So that's how you remove it. So then what we'll do is, once we've done that, we're going to go back to the thermostat. We go down, right, we've got the intake manifold off now. I'd always recommend you protect these ports, and then you can actually go ahead and start removing these. Now this is where your water is going to come out, so you may want to drain the fluid before doing that. And then this is our thermostat housing, and our thermostat just comes off via those bolts. And it also gives you the torque rating for when you do them back up. So now we're at this stage, we can actually go back to generator, which is found under the electrical system. Down to G. So now we've done those 2 steps, and now we can actually take off the inner wheel lining, which is just those 4 bolts there, nice and simple. And then we can operate our belt tensioner to take the Serpentine belt off. And this is a really good image because it obviously shows you the pathway the Serpentine belt takes. At this point, we lower the vehicle the best we can. Now I just lowered mine down into axle stands, and then you can remove the electrical connections from the alternator itself. There's just 2, there's one that's bolted to it. Now this is the point where I'd say remove the battery before doing this. Obviously this is a positive terminal that goes direct to the alternator. It tells you that that bolt there is actually done up to 12 Newton meters. And then you can actually see those 3 tricky bolts that are holding the alternator on, and they are tricky to take off. I think the bottom ones are okay, but the top one would definitely tricky to get to. And when you do those up, that is 48 Newton meters. And then it just says to install, reverse the removal procedure. So it gives us all of the information we need to do this job. Now I do appreciate I had to rush through that video because I do need to get on and fix this car so I can actually be driving it tomorrow. But what I'd recommend you do, if you need to find out how to do this process and you really want to take your time and understand the instructions, then of course go to Emanuals Online using the link down in the description below and get the manual yourself. Yes, you have to pay for it, but it's nearly 6,000 pages of information on that particular car. And if yours is a different model to this car and it's an older one or a slightly different model, then of course there are manuals available for you on there as well. So again, just click the link down in the description below and just do your own search. So I hope you found this video fairly interesting and helpful. If you did, please go ahead, give me the thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, check out some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel.